Good morning. My name is Catherine Tanaka, and I will be your chairperson for today's Hoonko Service. We will begin today's service with the presentation of the Okumotsu made by our Dharma School students. Please welcome Reverend Mikame, who will explain the meaning and significance of the Okumotsu for this service.
Good morning, everyone. How are you? Doing okay? All right, so let me explain about the Okumotsu just real quick. Okumotsu means the offering made for special services. So especially today is a memorial service for Shinran Shonin, which is the most important day for the Jodo Shinshu tradition. And this is because it is a day to remember and give thanks for the teachings Shinran Shonin shared with us. Okay. For this special occasion, I invited the Dharma school children and the teachers to walk together to create the special offerings, okumotsu, made of the snacks. And thank you everybody for your hard work for today. And I sincerely appreciate your effort in making our Hoonko special and colorful once again this year. And after this, representatives from each class will bring the offerings forward. And when you come up for the oshoko after the service, please take a look at each okumotsu in front of the place in front of the each altars. It will be really cool. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, Reverend Mikame. We will now begin the presentation of our okumotsus. First, our second, third, and fourth grade classes. Next, our fifth, sixth grade class. Our seventh and eighth grade class. Our high school class. Representing our Dharma school teachers. And representing the Dharma school parent organization. Thank you to our representatives. We will now have sutra chanting. We will start with Sambujo, which can be found on page 24 in the big book, followed by Jusege on page 23 in the little book, or page 93 in the big book.
Today, on this occasion of the Hoonko Service, the members of the San Jose Buddhist Church, Betsuin, have reverently come before Mida Buddha. With deepest reverence and thankfulness for the all-embracing wisdom and compassion of Amida, we reaffirm the three homages. I go to the Buddha for guidance. I go to the Sangha, Dharma for guidance. I go to the Sangha for guidance. 칭은 동음 연어 세사이 너혼 원하이신
We will now have Daihyo Shoko by the following organizations: Cub Scout Pack 611, Boy Scout Troop 611, Daisy Troop, Brownie Troop, Junior Girl Scout Troop, Cadet Troop, Senior Girl Scout Troop and Ambassador Troop, Lotus Preschool, Morgan Hill Dharma School, San Jose Dharma School, San Jose Junior YBA, DSPO, San Jose Betsuin, Now we will have Gotha, I Am a Link in the Golden Chain, which is the third song in the Yellow Handbook, followed by Golden Chain, which is located on page 2 in the Little Book or page 15 in the Big Book under Golden Chain 1.
I'm a link in the golden chain. Harmony may we all attain. Gentle to all living things will unite us all as golden rings. I'm a link in the golden chain. Gratitude may we all attain. Bright and strong my link will grow through pure and loving things I know. Pure and beautiful words I will think, and pure and beautiful words I will say, and pure and beautiful deeds I will do for the world and for you. Spreading kindness and love every day to all living things that come our way. Amida's chain of love is bright. Through peace and love we will see the light.
The Golden Chain. I
am a link in Amida's golden chain of love that stretches around the world. I will keep my link bright and strong. I will be kind and gentle to every living thing and protect all who are weaker than myself. I will think pure and beautiful thoughts, say pure and beautiful words, and do pure and beautiful deeds. May every link in Amida's golden chain of love be bright and strong, and may we all attain perfect peace.
Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo Amida
Namo
Butsu.
Amida Butsu.
Now Rinban Sakamoto will introduce our guest speaker.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us here in the Hondo, and for those of you at home joining us from home. Today is Hoonko. It's a service where we remember the founder of our tradition. It is a memorial service for Shinran. And because it is one of the most important services in Jodo Shinshu, we've asked Reverend Hayase to join us here as our guest speaker. Reverend Hayase is from the Denver Tri-State Buddhist Temple. Do they still call it Tri-State? Is it Denver? Tri-State Denver Buddhist Temple. They're very concerned. Actually, it's more than a tri-state. They cover from North Dakota all the way down to the Texas Panhandle, and they used to drive this all the time, and it was a year kind of a circuit that would go through, and they would drive for like 3,000 miles on this circuit. But we're very fortunate to have Hai Sensei with us here this morning. If you look on the back, his picture is back there. There are 5 portraits on the north wall. These are ministers who came here to train before going on to their first assignment. And Hai Sensei's portrait is up there, so take a look. He's much younger than at that time. But thank you, Sensei, for joining us this morning. Please, let's listen carefully to his Dharma message.
Good morning, everyone. Reverend Sakamoto, thank you for the introduction. I did not know my picture was on the wall. Did I still have hair? But in any case, yeah, I was here for only 3 weeks before I moved to Virginia, which is my first assignment. And so today, this is one of the most important celebration in our tradition, the Hoonko, which Reverend Sakamoto mentioned to, kind of reflect on our founder, Shinran, who is on your right side. That's our founder. Shinran, he taught that Amida Buddha's wisdom, Amida Buddha is in the center. Amida Buddha's wisdom is always surrounding us, trying to teach us, valuable lessons. So today I want to share a book that I brought that kind of teaches, one of the lessons in Jodo Shinshu. And this book, it's actually a Japanese book, and I brought it from Japan. This is actually one of my favorite books that I read to my son. He's now 6 years old. And this is all written in Japanese, so I will read it. I'll translate it as I read it, so please bear with me. So the title of this book is We Look Alike. So the story starts with a horse. And then the horse says, I think horses are very cool. Don't you guys think so? And then a chair comes. And then the chair says, yeah, I do think horses are cool. And actually, we look alike. Then the horse says, what are you talking about? We do not look alike. I'm a horse and you're a chair. And the chair says, yeah, but I think we do look alike. And then the chair says, look, you have 4 legs. I have 4 legs. Don't we look alike? And you carry someone. I do too. And if that person treats you very bad, don't you feel sad? I do too. But if that person treats you very well, don't you feel happy? I do too. And then the horse says, yeah, I know what you're saying, but I don't think we look alike. It's because my mom gave birth to me. And then the chair says, yeah, my owner built me. And then the horse says, and I'm going to live, and one day I will die. And then the chair says, yeah, one day I will collapse. Then the horse thinks about it, and he says, yeah, I think you're right. We are the same. Then the chair says, no, we're not the same. We just look alike. Any case, you are a horse and I'm a chair. See you then. So, in this story, you can see 2 different attitudes. One is like the horse, always pointing out the difference between himself. Perhaps I have to be aware of the pronouns, but to make it more simple, I'll say himself. But the horse keeps saying all the differences between himself and the chair, whereas the chair tries to find the similarity, things that they share. So it's very important to think about these 2 attitudes and try to think, what will happen if we act like a horse? If we try to only see the differences, what happens is we start to hate people. We start to discriminate people, and there will be conflict. But if we try to see the similarities, then we can share, we can connect, and we can learn that it's okay to be different. Because, we all are different. We have different backgrounds, different parents. So why do we have to seek the difference? So this lesson teaches, it teaches us a very valuable lesson. This book is it's for 5 and 6 years old, but it's very profound. That's why this is my favorite book. And it teaches a very important lesson that instead of seeking the differences, try to seek what you share, what is common, the similarities. And if we try to share, if we try to seek the similarities, then that is actually what, we just read. I will think pure and beautiful thoughts, say pure and beautiful words, and do pure and beautiful deeds. When we see the similarities, then we can have that pure and beautiful thoughts, and say pure and beautiful things, and also do pure and beautiful deeds. So this is the lesson that we can learn from this book, and thank you all for listening to me. I would like to close my Dharma talk with Gasho, palms together, and let us recite the Nembutsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namo.
Thank you, Reverend Hayashi. We will now have Gotha farewell on page 45, followed by the promise located on page 5 in the little book or page 15 in the big book.
Dharma school is over for another day. Let us gather round the shrine, bow our heads and say, thank you, teacher, for your help. Thank you, everyone. Buddha's love will keep us safe till our work is done. So we'll meet again next week. Won't you take good care? Let us try to do what's right, always kind and fair. We shall spread the happiness faith in Buddha brings. Now it's time to say goodbye till we meet again. Namu Amida Butsu, sing this fine refrain. Namu Amida Butsu, sunny day or rain. Namu Amida Butsu, strong in faith remain. Namu Amida Butsu, till we meet again.
The promise. We thank the Buddha for showing us the way of freedom.
We will endeavor to walk in his noble path
every day of our lives. Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo Amida
Namo
Butsu.
Amida Butsu.
Thank you to Rinban Sakamoto, Reverend Mikame, Reverend Jones, Reverend Hayashi, Mr. Akizuki, Mrs. Tanabe, and to organist Mr. Yoshihara and AV Tech Kevin Kitagawa. Are there any announcements?
I have two announcements. The first one is from San Jose Junior YBA. We are hosting our annual spaghetti dinner Saturday, February 1st here at the church in the gym. The time will be 4:30 to 6:45 p.m. and then takeout will be 4 to 6. There are $12 pre-sale tickets using the Google form, which is on the flyer that was also sent in the Dharma newsletter, and please pay in advance by dropping off your payment at the church or give to any junior YBA member or advisor. And sales will end Friday, January 24th, but they're also selling tickets outside currently in front of the gym. And then my second announcement is for the Troop 611 family dinner. It will be on Saturday, March 15th. It will be a Korean barbecue style dinner. There will be a dessert and raffle, and it will be $25 per ticket. There also was a flyer for that sent out in the Dharma newsletter. And takeout will end at 6 p.m. and dine-in will also end at 7 p.m. So thank you for supporting, and we hope to see you there.
Before everyone leaves the temple, please straighten all the books for the next service. Those of you who are interested are welcome to attend the adult English service. For your safety, please obey the crossing guards and look both ways before crossing the street. Thank you for attending today's service.
Morning. That was a good lesson. No, thank you.
Honey, how are you?
Hey, Ron. I do. Ron.
Yeah, Nora's
Yeah, I
husband.
know.
Yeah.
How you
Where
been?
you going?
Good,
How's
good.
the family?
Oh yeah,
Good.
good.
Yeah, nice seeing you again.
Yeah. So you're in.
Pardon me?
Where are you?
Down in LA.
L.A. Right, right,
But
right.
my son's living here.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah. Good to see you.
Yeah, nice
Yeah.
to see you too.
Send it to the appointment. Okay, 1, 2, 3. I was at a question very long ago. I have to do 2,000.
So you didn't know your picture was back there?
I did not.
Oh,
When?
we put it up right after, you and Reverend
No, I came.
came, and it wasn't there.
No, and then you picked me up at the airport with my family, my wife.
Oh,
You remember that?
yeah.
I think it was like a national concert here or
Yeah.
something.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I came here, but I didn't notice my picture.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. When did you take my picture?
No, I don't know.
I was kind of surprised.
Yeah. So everything's okay? You have a new son?
Yeah, he's 6 years old.
No, and you have another baby?
No, just
Oh,
one.
okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. That story was really good.
Oh yeah, that's I love that movie.
Yeah.
And I keep borrowing from my son, and my son is like, don't take it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
He
that's
li-
good.
he likes it too. So
Okay.
yeah.
Bilingual?
His Japanese is much more stronger
Oh, that's good.
because at home we don't allow
Uh-huh.
any English
Uh-huh.
because we really want him to
Right.
be able to speak both languages. So
That's good.
yeah.
Yeah.
And he goes to Japanese school every Saturday. So
Okay.
yeah, he's keeping up his Japanese.
That's good.
But he goes to first grade, so he will soon start to pick up English.
Yeah.
Just try to seek the balance.
That's good.
Yeah. So it's nice to be back here.
Yeah. Yeah. We're glad you're here.
Yeah. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this morning's Hoonko service. It's good to see so many people here. Just as a reminder, there's no food or drink in the Hondo, and please turn off your cell phones. Thank you. We'll begin this morning's service with a performance from the Betsuin Choir.
Good morning. The choir is very pleased to be performing for you today at this Hoonko service. The choir will perform two numbers. First, Snow, which is the first song in a collection of 3 Japanese poems. Music is by Ruth Morris Gray, and translation is by William N. Porter. This song is based on a 10th century Japanese haiku describing the gently falling snow blanketing the mountain village of Yoshino. The final selection will be a contemporary arrangement of Onoku-san-tu by Berkeley Temple member D.I. Lewis.
Thank you very much. That's required. It was beautiful. We'll start service with Sambujo on page 24 in the large service book, followed by Sanbutsuge on page 22 in the small Dharma service book, or page 79 in the large book.
Namanda, 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 namanda. Today, on this occasion, at the San Jose Buddhist Church Betsuing Hoonko Service, the members of the Betsuing have reverently come before Amida Buddha. With deepest reverence and thankfulness, for the all-embracing wisdom and compassion of Amida, we reaffirm the three homages. I go to the Buddha for guidance. I go to the Dharma for guidance. I go to the Sangha for guidance. 오갱행이 이짐흥어군요세
「
신명 생아신쇼 어순간 너힙 링이쇼쇼 영은 진보세선 지혜 문예 조려시 징하신요 계려신심 쇼는 너구축 강야션진 닌휴흥에
Now we will have Daio Shoko by the following organizations: Adult Buddhist Association, ABA; Morgan Hill, Hawaii Kai; the Buddhist Women's Association, BWA; and San Jose Betsuin. Thank you all. Now will everyone rise for the singing of Shinran Sama on page 240 in the large service book? And please remain standing for the Three Treasures, which is on page 3 in the small Dharma School service book.
소요 가세와 다름 아사노마도 様はにこやかに私の隣に立たにきらめく夜空星の影嵐に消えても隠れてもナモアミダ仏唱えれば親鸞様は灯火を私の行く手にあざされるこの世の旅の明け暮れに寂しい命嘆くときナモアミダ仏唱えれば親鸞様は寄り添って私の手を取り歩まれるIf you would please turn to page 3 in the Dharma School Service book and join in the reading of the three treasures. Hard is it to be born into human life. Now we are living it. Difficult is it to hear the teachings of the Blessed One. Now we hear it. If we do not deliver ourselves in the present life, no hope is there that we shall be freed from suffering and sorrow in the ocean of birth and death. Let us reverently take refuge in the three treasures of the truth. I take refuge in Buddha. May we all together absorb into ourselves the principle of your way to enlightenment and awaken in ourselves our supreme will. I take refuge in Dharma. May we all together be submerged in the depth of the doctrine and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. I take refuge in Sangha. May we all together become units in true accord in your life of harmony, in a spirit of universal oneness, freed from the bondage of selfishness. Even through ages of myriads of kalpas, hard is it to hear such an excellent, profound, and wonderful doctrine. Now we are able to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of Tathagata's teaching. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you. Please be seated.
And now Rimban will introduce our special guest speaker today.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us for this important service. Hoonko is a service, a memorial service for Shinran Shonin. Shinran, of course, the founder of this tradition. And as a memorial service for Shinran, it's again one of the more important services observed in the Hongan-ji. Today, because of that, we are very fortunate to have joining us for this morning's service Reverend Hayashi from the Tri-State Denver Buddhist Temple. He arrived yesterday, and when we picked him up to go to dinner last night, he was dressed in very light clothing. And I had my Parker on, and I had a flannel shirt underneath, and I was trying to keep warm. And I guess he came from like 40 degrees weather or something, that maybe even colder than that. It was snowing. But to see Haya Sensei here is really nice. He was here as a trainee before being assigned to his first temple, and we had the opportunity to get to know Sensei at that time. We're very happy to have him join us here this morning for this Hoonko service.
Good morning, everyone. As I was introduced, my name is Reverend Hayashi, and I'm from Colorado. I'm now assigned to the Tri-State Denver Buddhist Temples, and it's less than it's lower than 20 degrees, only 20 degrees. It was snowing the other day, and the traffic was all jammed up, and so that's where I'm from. So when I came here, I really didn't know what to wear. So I brought big jackets, light jackets, and but it's a very nice weather. It's very warm, very comfortable, and I really appreciate Reverend Sakamoto for inviting me here at the San Jose Betsuin. And as I was introduced, I was here for 3 weeks before I was assigned to Ekoji Buddhist Temple in Virginia, which is my first assignment. So the Denver Buddhist Temple is my second assignment. In beginning my Dharma talk, I would like to quote. Actually, this is the translation of Ondok-san that the choirs have sang, and it was very nice. I mean, the way I haven't heard that version of Ondok-san, but it was very beautiful. But I would like to quote, do the translation. So please join me in Gasho, palms together. Such is the benevolence of Amida Buddha's great compassion, that I must strive to repay it, even if my body turns to dust. Such is the benevolence of the masters and true teachers, that I will thank them until my bones have crumbled. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. So today, we are observing the Hoonko, and this Hoonko is actually observed by many Buddhist tradition to honor their founding masters. And our Hoonko is celebrated on the day of the founder of our denomination, Jodo Shinshu, or Shin Buddhism, it's called in this country. His name is Shinran Shonin, and he is on your right side, of the center. So that is our founder, and we commemorate, his death today. And at the same time, we contemplate on what Shinran is trying to teach us. So to give a brief, history of Shinran. So Shinran, he began his career as a monk on a mountain called Hie in Kyoto, Japan, which is the headquarters of the dominant Tendai school of Buddhism. So he started his career as a monk at the age of 9. And he spent night after night for 20 years poring over, Buddhist texts, sutras, and performing ascetic practices. But eventually, he realized that it was impossible for him to continue such a path. And as he began to sense how difficult it would be for him to follow, that path up in Mount Hie, he was gradually drawn into a different teaching in Buddhism, which is called the Pure Land teaching. And this is also called the Nembutsu path. The Nembutsu path is a path that could be pursued by anyone, You don't have to go up in mountains. You don't have to isolate yourself in a monastery. This teaching could be pursued by anyone, whether as an ordinary member of society or lay people. I mean, this teaching teaches us that the ordained, like us ministers, and the lay are equal on the path. So just because we're ministers doesn't mean we are holier than you or we are better than you. No, we're just sharing it, and basically that's it. And this attitude I think is very important because when, especially me, when I stand before the podium with my robes on, my ego comes out. I can notice that. I'm like, you guys have to listen to me. No, that's why this pure. I like this pure, this Nembutsu path because it teaches us that the ordained and the lay. I mean, we shouldn't even say lay. Everyone is equal on this path, and that kind of holds my ego, so that I don't act in a very egoistic way. What is the teaching of Shin Buddhism? So Shin Buddhism is said to be the teaching of compassion. We say Shin Buddhism is a teaching of compassion. And you can find the word compassion in all sorts of Shin Buddhist texts, scriptures, and sutras. However, there seems to be a gap between compassion as we generally understand it and compassion as it is understood in the teaching of Shin Buddhism. I feel that gap. So I want to talk about the difference. So first, let me define the word compassion in general. According to the Oxford English Dictionary, compassion comes from two words, cum, C-O-M, and passion. Cum is a Latin word meaning with. Cum means with. And passion comes from the Latin word passus, related to the English noun patient, and means one who is suffering. So, compassion means to suffer together with. To suffer together with. It is a strong feeling of sympathy and sadness for others' pain and the desire to help them. Next, let me give you the definition of compassion in Shin Buddhism. So the word compassion in Shin Buddhism is usually explained as the combination of two Buddhist aspects. One is called Maitri, this is a Sanskrit word, and Karuna, another Sanskrit word. So Maitri in Sanskrit is unconditional friendship towards others and the desire to give them comfort and to ease their heart. To ease their heart. Next, Karuna in Sanskrit originally meant mourning and referred to someone who is mourning from suffering or pain. That is, Karuna is an innate desire to help someone in pain or someone that is suffering. So, compassion in both Shin Buddhism and in general refers to the feeling of sympathy, that is the desire to help those who are suffering and to ease their heart. However, the difference in general and the Shin Buddhist understanding of compassion lies in its profundity. That is the depth. Compassion in Shin Buddhism is much deeper than compassion as generally understood. Our compassion can be inconsistent, quick to change into another emotion depending upon our mood, and often fails to respond to large-scale human suffering. For example, there are now 122 million people displaced from their homes worldwide, the United Nations report. It's an all-time high likely the largest population of refugees in human history. When you think about the number 122 million, it can be hard to imagine. If you see like one life, or maybe two or three, we can imagine their hopes and pain. But 122 million, that's almost impossible. It's just an abstraction. Therefore, there is a hard limit to human compassion. Our compassion is also based on rational morality and ethics, which involves our judgments. Conversely, compassion, as spoken in Shin Buddhism, is unlimited and goes beyond rational morality. So, what would this mean? A good example is it's a popular Japanese folk story called Old People Mountains. You might know the story. In Japanese, it's called Ubasuteyama. So the story goes, once upon a time, there was a village where they had to abandon elderly people up in the mountains to cut down the number of mouths they had to feed. To follow this regulation, a man went up to the mountains to abandon his elderly mother. He carried his mother on his back and followed the path up to the mountains. As he walked, he noticed his mother breaking twigs off of the tree and throwing them on the ground. The man thought, is she creating a path so that she can track it back down to the village? I cannot let that happen. Otherwise, I am going to be in big trouble. After they arrived at the top of the mountain, the man put down his mother on the ground and told her not to ever come down to the village. His mother only gently nodded her head to what she was told. When the man was about to leave, his mother said, "You are so deep into the mountains, but I have laid twigs on the ground from the village so that you would never get lost. Follow them and you can safely return home. Be careful on your way back, my son." Seeing his mother's gentle face, wishing his well-being, the man suddenly burst into tears. He said, "What a terrible thing I have done to you. I not only tried to abandon you, but I also doubted you." The man knelt on the ground and apologized sincerely. Then lifted his mother on his back and walked his way back home. So the point of this story is that the mother did not forgive her son when he apologized and took her back home, but from the very beginning, which was why she broke the twigs. So, from the point of view of the mother, her compassion towards her son would have been the same even if he had left her to die up at the mountains. Such profound compassion is like that of a Buddha. A Buddha cares more about others than oneself under any circumstances. A Buddha never judges others, but embraces them regardless of what they have done and how terrible it was. A Buddha is beyond hatred, anger, and aversion. In our sense, when we see an unforgettable crime, we would often feel hateful and disgust about the offenders. We will get very angry. For instance, imagine people discriminating against others, abandoning their kids, or taking away someone's life. We deeply feel sorry for the victims, but often not the offenders. We will even think that they deserve a punishment. And the more the crime becomes severe, we think the heavier the punishment should be. However, compassion of a Buddha not only goes towards the victims, but also the offenders. It also embraces those we think of as bad, evil, wicked, or indifferent, and will say, "I am sorry that you had to do such a thing." Compassion of a Buddha sees how the offenders were all once an innocent child, like everyone else who had no desire to commit such a crime. And that through the many conditions in the aging process made them a person capable of committing crimes. Those offenders did not wish to become such a person, but somehow they became so. As our founder Shinran Shoni says in a text called Tanisho, when the karmic condition opportune, we are capable of doing anything. No one wants to harm others. But when we are in the right circumstances, we might not be able to control ourselves fully. Therefore, from the view of profound compassion of a Buddha, the life of the offender is as valuable as the victim's life. There is no judgment. Of course, this does not mean then we can just go out and commit a crime. That is, a very childish thought. In society, if you commit a crime, then yes, you will be punished under the law that we call justice. And that is how the society works. However, even though the offenders are judged, the higher level of compassion will never make judgments. The higher level of compassion will embrace us no matter what. This is the depth of compassion spoken in Shin Buddhism, which goes deeper than our rational morality and ethics. In this regard, in one of the Buddhist texts, the sutras, that is fundamental to our teaching of Shin Buddhism, which is called the Contemplation Sutra, it is stated, "The Buddha's mind is great compassion. It embraces sentient beings with unconditional benevolence." Moreover, in another Buddhist, another sutra called the Largest Sutra, it states, "Without being asked to do so, Buddha becomes a good friend to each of the multitude of beings and carries their heavy karmic burdens for them." Such Shinran, our founder, reveres such Buddha as Amida Buddha, which is the central figure on our altar. Or we say Amida Tathagata, the Buddha of infinite life and infinite light. The infinite light represents the wisdom, and infinite life represents the compassion. And Shinran says in the Tanisho, Amida Buddha's primal wish does not discriminate between the young and old, good and evil. True and trusting alone is essential. The reason is that Amida's wish is directed to the person burdened with the weight of karmic evil and burning with the flames of selfish desires. That is to say, the profound compassion of Amida Buddha accepts us just as we are. And Shinran, he had this expression, "Infinite envelops the finite." Infinite envelops the finite, which means that our limited compassion is always surrounded by and supported by the unlimited compassion. Therefore, even though the compassion I practice is small, I'm not discouraged. Even though the compassion I practice is inconsistent, I'm not discouraged. Even though I am capable of a limited form of compassion, I'm not discouraged. The nature of humanity is that we seek to improve ourselves, to evolve ourselves. We strive to be a better person, a more compassionate person. However, more often than not, we struggle over the gap between the ideal and our own reality. However, we do not need to be discouraged because we can rely on the unlimited compassion of Amida Buddha regardless of our limitations. We all have limitations and we know that, but we don't have to be discouraged. There is the unlimited compassion always trying to reach out to us, always embrace us. Thus, we can securely accept our true human reality because we know that we are supported by a world that never rejects us and never abandons us. So this is the depth of compassion spoken in the Nembutsu teaching that Shinran always wanted to teach us. I would like to close with the quote, the Ondok-san. Again, please join me in Gasho, palms together. Such is the benevolence of Amida Buddha's great compassion that I must strive to repay it even if my body turns to dust. Such is the benevolence of the masters and true teachers that I will thank them until my bones have crumbled. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu.
Thank you, Reverend Hayashi. We're really glad that you were able to join us here in this nice balmy weather that we have here compared to where you're at. That's why I wear a Hawaiian shirt. It's kind of balmy out here, right? Let's see. Will everyone please rise for Gatha Ondok-san 2 on page 76 in the small Dharma School service book.
Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you. Please be seated.
At this point, are there any announcements?
Good morning, I'm Moshel Kadokuro with BWA. Just want to let you know that tickets are available for our fundraiser, the Chirashi and Botomochi, which is, the pickup would be Saturday, February 15th, after 12:30 to, I believe, about 2 o'clock. So thank you very much. We have limited tickets available today, on sale during the luncheon and out front, and until we sell out. So please support BWA efforts. Thank you very much.
Also like to make an announcement about we're showing a movie on, what's the date here? On Sunday, February 2nd. It's called Hito Hata. I guess it's, what I've been told, it's a movie that was made a while ago and it's been shown, but it's new to me. And we're hoping that you'll join us. It is part of our fundraising for our new Dharma Center. And so we're actually starting, as you know, we've been showing some movies periodically, and we want to continue showing movies which are of interest to the community. And we're actually calling the series the SJBCB Community Cinema. So hopefully you can join us. We have flyers in the back, and there's also flyers in the office. If no other announcements, let's see. I would like to thank Rinban Sakamoto, Reverend Mikame, Reverend Jones, Reverend Hayashi, and our MAs, Dennis Akizuki and Sumi Tanabe. Let's see, and also the Betsuin Choir for joining us today. Our organist is Michael Yoshihara, and our AV tech is Kevin Kitagawa. Let's see, and so the last announcement, I guess, will be also that the refreshments, because the multipurpose room and gym there's things going on there, we're going to have refreshments in the church office in the conference room, so please feel free to join us. Yes? Okay, we have one more announcement.
Hello, I'm sorry. BWA, my name is Kathy Sakamoto. I'm Reverend Sakamoto's wife. BWA is also holding a donation. Boxes are out for San Jose State Pantry. We do this every year. We choose one organization or one cause to donate to. And so there should be a box in the annex that says SJS, BWA, SJSU Pantry. And this is for students. They're almost empty, the shelves of the pantry of San Jose State University. They're open to students only. And they're, because the students many students are actually living in their cars. They don't have housing. So some of the homeless people that you might see around could be a student. They are allowed to go to the pantry and select items. So anything on the, I think, BWA website and in the newsletter, there have been pages that say what they will take. Of course, they will always take money, but if you have a question, you can email me or call, and the office will take calls also, I believe, or they can direct them to me. Thank you very much. I'm sorry. Late night.
One more check. Any more announcements? Thank you, everyone, for joining us at this morning's service. We'll now have closing gasho, and please come forward for incense offering.
Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you very much, everyone. Please come forward for Oshoko.